Guys, we're back in some more Roblox, more videos, and today I'm going to let you watch with me some creepy movies. And I'm telling you, if you are watching it at night, don't ever watch it because that's super creepy. And I watched them already, so I was spooked out. Let's begin.
People call me Yaya. This happened to me when I was a young girl, maybe 7 or 8. It was a Saturday afternoon and my mother and I were at a mall shopping. We went from store to store, mostly for me. I was a spoiled kid. We went into a coat store and I was pretty bored, so I would constantly walk away from my mother to play and stuff as I did in every other store. My mother would always call my name and I'd go running to her. This time, I was playing in a round coat rack. My mother called my name and I ran out. I ran right into this older man. Then he grabbed me. He grabbed me by my wrist and asked me why I was running. I told him because I have to get to my mom. He then told me he could take me to her, but I said no and he let go. It was weird because I saw this man in almost every store he went to, but he never had any bags. After that store, I had to use the bathroom really bad, so I went while my mother went to the food court. I sat down to use it for maybe a minute when someone else came in. The person walked right up to my stall. At this point, I was just looking at the person's shoes. They were men's shoes.
Ugly shoes, of
Why a man would be
course.
in here. Before I could look up, the man said, "Hey, Yaya, everything okay in there?"
If that happens to me, I'm going to be really creeped out. And except if I was alone. But if I didn't was alone, I'm not going to be creeped out. But good that didn't happen to me any year or any day. So let's keep moving.
I'm in if you want me to.
If he wants to get in, that's ridiculous.
I looked up and I could see his eyes peeking through the crack of the door. He then started shaking the stall. I began to scream. I've never been so afraid in my life. Then 2 women walked into the bathroom and the man took off. These women took me to my mother and told the police. They found him due to the cameras. I don't know what his intentions were, but the police said he probably would have kidnapped me. Who knows? From that time on, I would never leave my parents' side while in public.
Yeah, don't ever leave your parents, guys, because it's really that's really bad. Because if you got kidnapped, you can never do something or anything. So, yeah. Okay, the man in my brother's closet. Ooh, that seems really creepy. If someone was in my closet, I will scream, help me, because I'm a crybaby. I know I'm 9 years old, but I'm still a crybaby, so yeah.
This happened 2 months ago in January of 2019.
What's this?
My parents went out to a party.
Ooh, cool
They told me they
parent.
wouldn't be back until at least 3 a.m. in the morning
Ooh,
because the party
3
was supposed to start at 8 p.m.
3
and the party was
a.m. in
going
the
to be in
morning?
New Jersey.
Oh my gosh.
We live in
Who will leave
Connecticut,
the
so it takes a
kids
while to get
in
there and back.
the
They told me
house
to watch my
for
10-year-old brother
3
and
a.m.
expected me to be
in the
responsible
morning?
because I'm 15
My
years old.
goodness.
When
If
they
I was
left,
up,
we watched
I'm going
movies
to
all night
say
while eating a
no.
bunch of
But if I
popcorn.
have a sister or brother,
It was
I'll
around
stay with them.
11:30,
But
and
they
we
must
just
be
finished watching Infinity War.
not than me.
I told my
That's
brother
scary.
to brush his teeth and go to bed. I stayed up later than him to watch the movie Logan. The movie ended and it was around 2 in the morning. I was getting ready for bed when my brother came down the stairs. I asked him what he was still doing up, and he said the boogeyman was in his closet and wanted to touch him. I looked at him in confusion. My brother isn't the type of kid to pull pranks or joke around. He wanted me to check it out. I said fine and started saying he probably just heard a house noise. He said he heard a noise coming from his closet, and when he checked inside,
Seriously? someone in his closet. Well, yeah, that's creepy.
The man was there and said he wanted to touch him. We went inside his room. I turned on the light and we went to the closet door. I opened it, and what I saw made me seriously angry. There was a tall, scruffy-looking man with long, black, greasy hair. He looked as if he was in his mid-40s and was fairly built. I was pissed off when I saw this creep watching my 10-year-old brother sleep, and I figured out what my brother meant when he said the boogeyman wanted to touch him. I was so pissed off. I punched his throat. He dropped to the floor gasping for air, but I stepped on his face as hard as I could at least 6 times.
That's good.
He was covered in blood and was having trouble breathing. I grabbed my brother and ran into the bathroom, locking the door and calling the cops. Then I called my parents. My parents freaked out. In about 10 minutes, the cops showed up and searched the bedroom. He wasn't in there. They searched the house. He wasn't anywhere to be found. I gave them a good description of his appearance, and an officer even stayed at our house until sunrise. A week later, I was informed that the same guy was caught and arrested for raping an 11-year-old boy and murdering his parents. It turns out he had raped multiple children before, and even murdered some of them and their parents. He was 47 years old and received a death sentence.
47? Seriously?
My brother never came downstairs to tell me what happened. Then I fear the worst could have happened to him. And I'm extremely thankful.
Sorry guys, just something. We can just talk about something. Oh, we don't have to. It's already done.
That didn't happen.
True Made Horror Story Animated. So this is the
We
last
used to have
story,
a maid
guys.
from Indonesia, and her name is Wati. Well, one night it was probably around 2 a.m. Everyone was sleeping.
What the
Suddenly,
fuck?
my brother and I heard my maid
Sorry, guys.
weeping. She was crying softly. We thought she probably missed her family in Indonesia, so we just ignored her and went back to sleep. The next day, at the same time, around 2 a.m., she was weeping again. This went on and on for 3 months.
That's really creepy.
We told our parents about it, and everyone had the same thought. She probably missed her family back home. One night at 9 p.m., my brothers and I were chilling in the living room. My maid was in the kitchen washing dishes. My dad was fixing the kitchen light, and suddenly my dad saw a shadow running around in the storage room. My dad thought it was one of us playing around, so my dad called out to my brother, "Can you please get the light bulb from the drawer?" But no one answered. Then my dad shouted, "Hey, can someone help me out and get the light bulb for me?" Both of us ran towards my dad from the living room, which is on the opposite side of the storage room. My dad then got confused and asked us why
That's
we came from
really-
the living room.
Really creepy, you
We got
guys.
goosebumps and walked into the storage room.
That's really
We switched the lights on and saw that there was no one there. However, we saw the maid shaking. She looked at us, then started weeping again. My dad asked, "Who was that and why are you weeping?" My maid then explained that it was her guardian from Indonesia. My dad asked her to call him out, and he was
God, the
going to call
guardian
the
or
police.
something.
But my maid stated that it was not a human, but a spirit that was summoned to protect her. After that, my dad brought us to a nearby hotel for the night and hired a spiritual hunter to chase the spirit away. Following that incident, we no longer heard the maid weeping, and she was sent back to Indonesia 3 days after the incident.
Okay, guys, that was all for today. If you like this video, make sure to push that like button and like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye.